President Mugabe. Rebatsu onale ho thasela government ya gagwe ka about elephants that raid his constituency. Rebatsu comes from the northeast part of Botswana, and today I'm very happy that President Mugabe has admitted and owned up to the fact that those elephants that are in your constituency, these were Zimbabwe. It was Zimbabwe. So instead of coming to me and complaining, I will allow you to go and visit President Mugabe in his country. You'll go by air and you will fly economy class. Your Honor, the Vice President, Masisi, and Mrs. Masisi. Nya khosi holo malope haridumela hore Masisi uitso go tsamika board. Hala bona hore maloba ke nna hela yona agora. The Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Re Ramaphosa, so I hope you will comply with SADC, where we try to do everything together. So you should change from being Deputy President to being Vice President, because that name we are not used to in SADC. But when you become President, you can change it. Mutsakwa. The Deputy Prime Ministers from Lesotho and Swaziland, if they are here, I'm not sure if they are here. Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the Honourable Speaker of the National Assembly, Your Excellencies, former heads of state and government, Your Excellency Remochai, Rembeki, and your good wife, Ren Nujoma, Regubuza from Mozambique, Rebanda, and Re Ohamba, and our former Vice President Re Kidikule, Kosi Malope, and for the other distinguished guests, let me just say, protocol observed, Gyaludumedi Sakapula. The honors policy, which states that we honor our leaders after they have departed, was formulated by Cabinet when Kwellohove was a minister in that Cabinet. But obviously he has forgotten, because he was preoccupied with trying to get an increase in salaries for the politicians. So that is something which obviously we are going to do. In fact, only yesterday, I was discussing it with Re Botswana Ntoani, I don't know if he's here, who is my witness, where we said that, okay, Ntoani, here. So, Rembe Becky, you thought you were the only ones who had a communist party in this region, but apparently we do too. And I said that at the next meeting of Cabinet, he's my witness, I was going to put to the Cabinet and invite them for proposals as to where would be the appropriate place that we could name after Ketumile Masire. So that one is invited. And where the roads cross, but we'll go back to the crossroads. It is always difficult being the last speaker, which was about 3 terms. Rahaone did 18 years, almost 4 terms. And then something happened. Remohai did 10 years. Then now I'm going to do 10 years. So, kare right so Remohai, but it's 80 right. So it's going down. So be careful, Remasisi. Maybe we're about 5 years. So Ketumile's legacies go beyond our borders, as we have heard. During his tenure, he played a key role, as we were informed by former President Beki and President Mugabe, as one of the leaders of the frontline states in the liberation of our region from colonialism by the apartheid regime in South Africa and the Rhodesian rebel regime. And of course, we shouldn't forget the Portuguese who had colonized Angola and Mozambique. 2 of our former leaders, as we have heard, Sir Ketumile and Sir Ketumile Masire, were leaders during that troubled time. But they resisted pressure from these 2 regimes who constantly threatened us with their economic and military power to stop allowing freedom fighters, members from the liberation movements, and pro-democracy activists from entering Botswana. And these were threats that they did, in fact, carry out. However, based on our long-standing principle for upholding human rights, we did not give in then, nor shall we give in now. We will not be bullied and intimidated by anyone to abandon these principles. We have heard from speakers yesterday and today about Rahaone's life. What stands out for me from what they have said and what I remember of him was his passion for farming, for politics and the BDP, for his family. We remember his laugh, we remember his humor, and of course his devotion to this nation and its people. So if you were to ask yourself, between politics and farming, what do you think he liked the most? For the answer, I would refer you to this picture. Here, there's another picture over there. And I think from what we have heard today, that I think was something which was so close to him. He probably would like to have taken that statue of that beast into his bedroom with him. He felt so passionate about farming. That would have stopped people barging into his bedroom without knocking. Another example of what he was I received an email expressing condolences from someone overseas who I know well. And I quote, and he said, "Dear Ian," that's me. Last Friday, I learned about the passing of Sir Ketumile Masire and send you hereby my condolences. As you may be aware, he was my boss for 2.5 years when I was in the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning, and he the VP and Minister of Finance. He was a wonderful person to work for, highly motivated, focused, a person who loved his country. He also had a sense of humor. He appeared a modest man, as well as a wise and grassroots politician. He was a great partner to Sir Seretse, and the two made a formidable team in more ways than one. End of quote. But there was another partnership that I believe made a formidable team. And that was the partnership between Rahaone and Mahaone. And I was not able to speak at her funeral. I don't mean that I was prevented from speaking, no. But I just want to pay tribute to her because she was such a wonderful and lovely person. And she really reached and touched many people's hearts, not only those of the family. So to her, they have this saying that I don't necessarily subscribe to, that behind every successful man but I think in his case it was really relevant because Mahaone was certainly a pillar of strength, not only for Rahaone, but I believe even for the family. My fondest memories. I served under President Masire whilst I was in the BDF. The whole time he was president. My fondest memories with him was when I toured with him regularly as he was our Commander-in-Chief around BDF operational areas. There was one incident which I've been debating whether to remind Carter about, but although he wasn't there, at one of these bases, it was in the Okavango area, and you heard from President Mugabe that Okavango is an area which has a lot of water. Some of our operations we conducted, the BDF conducted on horseback, because the water is so deep, vehicles cannot go through. So I'd taken him to one of our camps to show him where we kept the horses and the training we did with soldiers. And then as we were there looking at the horses and everything, this silly captain comes along and he says, would the president like to ride one of the horses? And before President Masire could answer, I said, no, he doesn't want to ride any horse. But knowing him as he was, he said, no, let me.